morning everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It is Monday morning. I just finished hot yoga, so you already know I'm feeling super good about my week already. This vlog is gonna be a week in my life, showing up for myself, prioritizing myself, and essentially stepping into the dream version of me. And you know that quote where it's like, your new life or your dream life is going to cost you the old one? That is the energy that I'm currently in right now. I feel like I am shedding many layers of different limiting beliefs, different patterns that no longer serve this season of my life. So I figured I would vlog this as motivation for you guys, but also just to bring you guys through any of the wisdom that I'm sure I'm gonna pick up this week. I also wanna talk heavily about my journal practice in this vlog because that is something that I'm focusing a lot on this week, is really getting focused and having a lot of tunnel vision when it comes to my mental practices or my mindset practices. A few weeks ago, I made a video about showing up for myself and just talking about how I really want to look back this summer and just be happy with the work that I put in towards myself, my life, my everything. I just want to make myself proud. And so I've been on a really good schedule when it comes to moving my body, taking care of myself, getting to sleep at a good time, you know, doing all the self-care and self-improvement things that are really going to pour into my self-concept, going to make me feel confident about myself and just allow me to have the results that I'm trying to manifest in my life. And one of those aspects for sure, especially when you're trying to up-level your life, is getting really focused in on the type of mindset that you have surrounding the things that you want in your life, or just surrounding yourself. If you want a new lifestyle, if you want a new outcome in your life, if you want to feel better, it really does start with your mindset. Now, to pair that, of course, it starts with those actionable steps like making sure you have a routine and you are taking time out of your day to have a journal practice or to think better thoughts or to listen to a podcast episode that's going to get your mind right, those type of things. But at the end of the day, if you really want to change your life, it is going to require a new mindset, a new way of thinking. And there's always different seasons of my life where I have certain beliefs about how I can get the things that I want in my life. A lot of those things serve me, but then sometimes when I'm ready to up level or something has been normalized in my life, that's where I really want to hone in on how can I go bigger, how can I think better, how can I think about it in a new way, how can I relax into the present moment as well, how can I stop rushing the things that I'm really wanting in my life and trusting that it's going to come in perfect timing. And in order for me to have that type of mindset automatically when I wake up in the morning is for sure bringing my mind to that thinking process. And that's why I love to journal in the morning. So that's what I did this morning. Before going on my phone, before doing anything else, the first thing that I will be doing this week, and I honestly have been doing this the past few weeks to be honest, but it's really just to create a lot more mental clarity in my life. And right now I'm really into this quote that this girl, Melanie Ann Layer, I think, says. She's the founder of Alpha Femme. I've taken some of her courses. She's amazing when it comes to business, feminine energy, just, oh my gosh, she's just amazing. I definitely would go check her out. But she has this quote where it says, 1 foot in gratitude and 1 foot in desire. And that's something that I'm really trying to practice right now in my life, is really just grounding myself in the present moment and being like, you have so much to be grateful for. You have so much to really show for yourself. You have so much to be proud of. This is going to be the thing that you need to root yourself in, especially if you want to manifest new desires, which we always have as humans. And thinking back to the times where I really had a pretty shitty circumstance in my life, like back in the day, the first thing that I did was not try to focus on hitting goals or like manifesting new things. It was actually about being grateful for the things that I had, because that allowed me to calm my nervous system. It allowed me to think clearly and critically about the things that I really wanted that were actually aligned to my higher self, not just acting out of scarcity and doing all of these types of behaviors to try to get certain outcomes that weren't really from a place of what my soul wanted, instead maybe just survival, which it's fine if you want to obviously survive. Everyone needs to do that, but I just find that really grounding myself in gratitude has been something that's really helped me on the journey of becoming the dream version of me in every season of my life. So I did a lot of gratitude journaling this morning, and I also like to kind of, I don't know, maybe I will call it something like notes from my higher self. I like to speak to myself by journaling from this place of my higher self that knows the real truth of who I am. So some of the things that I was writing to myself was basically like, you are going through this process right now. You are literally stepping into this new version of yourself every single day, even when it feels like you're not. The reason why I think that this is important is because when you are becoming a new version of you, it's almost like it's hard to even really take in that you are actually changing on a day-to-day basis, because things shift very slightly until it just becomes all of a sudden like, oh, my life has changed. And so I like to speak to myself this way to remind myself, even as I'm going through this journey, that I'm exactly where I need to be. Everything is moving and shifting and working exactly the way that I need to, even if I don't see it. And I like to really just point out even things that are changing, even if it's not the full-blown manifestation. I think sometimes when we don't see our manifestation go from A to B, like the end result, we're like, oh my God, nothing's changing. These opportunities are not coming. The money's not coming. The love is not coming, this, that. But slowing down, grounding yourself in gratitude, and speaking to yourself from this higher place that knows your truth and knows exactly the path that you are currently on, and pointing out, yes, this is happening step by step by step by step. Baby steps, yes, but it is coming, it is here, it is already done. And the last thing that I did this morning was write out some of the manifestations and the things that I want from the place of essentially already having it. So I'm now kind of stepping into this consciousness or this energy of my higher self that already exists. The version of me, if I can dream it, if I can think about it and desire it in my head, she's already there. When I say that, honestly, I'm thinking about quantum physics. So if you want to just go and do your research when it comes to that, you can. But let's just bring ourselves back to the present moment and just use the idea of desire of, yes, obviously there is a better version of you that can be up leveled at any single time if you want. So I like to write from that place. I am the girl who has X, Y, and Z. I have this amount of money. I have this amount of success. I'm living in my dream home. I have everything that I need. I have beautiful friendships and relationships and everything, whatever it is that I know is already mine. I like to write from that place as if I already have it. And why that's important is because when you work on all the things that I just said with this journal practice, and you're really stepping in this energy of, you know, I am the girl who is healed, who is healthy, who loves herself, who's abundant, who has all of these things, you're going to start taking action out of that place, and that's going to create a real 3D reality for you of that version of you that you are trying to become. So I would highly suggest doing a journal practice such as that one. I think that that's just something that always makes me feel the absolute best. It just puts me in such a good mood in the morning. So that's what I did, and then I went to hot yoga. This is actually the first week that I've done 7 a.m. hot yoga because I was getting on a proper sleep schedule. So I had been going at like 12 o'clock, which I don't love going midday because I just kind of want to get up, do my mindset work, and then start moving my body. I think that that just like works the best for me. And every day is different. I don't do the same workout every single day. Like I do legs at my own gym, but I also do hot yoga. There's a lot of things. I'm kind of wanting to do a new workout class as well. So I might book a sweat and tonic class sometime this week, but that has really set me up for success already on this Monday morning. So with that said, like I said, I'm gonna just bring you guys through a little bit of a week in my life to see what I get up to. I really want to hit a lot of goals and get a lot of things done this week. I had a really good weekend. I went to John's Summit, which if you guys don't know his music, what are you doing? His show was insane. It was so freaking good. And this summer, another goal of mine is really to live in the moment for sure, but also still work on myself, really have that balance and just trust that I can do that. So I'm really motivated to take on another week, and I'm even excited for this weekend. But I am going to change. I need to eat, and I'm gonna go grocery shopping and then cook at some point. So I'll show you guys what I'm making, some of the meals that I'm making for this week, and then we will convene when I'm back. Okay guys, I just got back from the grocery store, so let me quickly run through some of the things that I'm gonna be eating this week. And I also did go to Farm Boy yesterday, which was on Sunday, to get a few things, but I wanted to wait today to get everything else. And I love going early in the morning because there's like nobody there. So it took like no time at all. So the two main meals that I'm making, which I like to always focus on two main meals throughout the week, just so I have a rough idea of things that I'm making. And then everything else is kind of just like side characters. You know, it's like sometimes maybe I'm gonna be hungry for this, maybe I'm gonna be hungry for that. You know what I mean? So the first meal is chicken tacos. So I got a bunch of chicken. I'm gonna bake it today at some point. And I got these smaller size tortillas. And then what I've been doing is, because I've been obsessed with these salad kits recently. I get a bunch of different ones, but I really like the maple tahini crunch one. But I figured, why not just get this, like make a little bowl of it and then add it within the tortilla to make chicken tacos. Cause you know how usually with tacos, they have some sort of like coleslaw or lettuce and tomato, things of that nature. So I figured I would just get these. And then also for my second meal of the week, it's gonna be, of course, you guys guessed it, steak, and then the side is going to be a Greek salad, which yesterday I actually got everything that I needed. I also got bananas as well, just to have maybe in the mornings if I'm not super hungry before a workout class. So I'm gonna make this and I'm gonna add some feta cheese with it as well. So that's gonna be like the side salad with my steak. And then when I run out of this, I can just have this salad kit as well if I still have some left. So it's very versatile, very easy. I just pulled out a steak for today. This was in my freezer. I have a bunch of steaks already, so I didn't need to get any more. I also got these pasture-raised eggs. I got these from Farm Boy because they don't sell the ones that I like at Loblaws. Sometimes I'll get them, their own farm ones, but these are my favorite. So I got these last night. I also got some organic 3.8% milk, which is, these are the two that I put in my coffees in the morning. And then I decided, because I used to have this last summer. I don't know if you guys remember, if you guys have been here since last summer, like my vlogs, but I used to always, I was addicted to this for like a year straight, this beef teriyaki strips, or like small little strips, and I would have it with Melba toast and a little bit of cheese on it. And it's just such a good snack to have if you're not really hungry or you don't have a lot of time, just because it has so much protein in it. I'm a very protein focused girl, as you probably will be able to see. So that's just like a little snack to have throughout the week. And then I got some more ginger ale kombucha, which I have orange juice in the fridge, and I always like to mix those together. And I usually like to have that on the side of my dinner, or like steak dinner usually, which is so good. I also got this big thing of pink Himalayan salt because I needed it and I ran out, and I just put it in my small little salt shaker. Now, another thing that I want to make that I already have all the ingredients for, so at some point I will make that, is this Greek yogurt bark I saw on Pinterest. So basically all I needed was Greek yogurt and white chocolate chips, frozen blueberries, probably something else, but I'll check the recipe. Either way, I'm just gonna wing it like most things, but I really wanna make it because it just looks so good and it's such a good treat to have, I feel. And Greek yogurt is high in protein. Not like I'm looking at that like that needs to be my protein rich meal, because I mean, it's like a little sweet treat, but I definitely wanna make that. So that'll be some of my meals. I try not to meal prep like too many things. I feel like over the years I've learned what I end up wasting, what I end up actually eating. And there's just some days where maybe my appetite's not the biggest, so I don't eat a lot, or if I go out or something. So I just like to be prepared throughout the week to have something, because if not, then I either won't eat, or I'll eat not the wrong type of food, but just not nutrient rich foods, or I will end up just like ordering out and wasting money that I don't need to be wasting. And I've been on a really, really good schedule when it comes to eating and moving my body. Like I've just been so good with just amping up my appetite and actually feeling hungry throughout the days and moving my body and just nourishing myself. So I want to keep that going, obviously, especially that it's summer, because I feel like sometimes summer, like you just want to wake up and like drink iced coffee all day and have some watermelon and like go out with your girlies, but we can't be doing that every single day. So I am gonna get to work right now. I want to get a bunch of stuff done, just computer work. I have like short form clips of my podcast that I want to schedule out for the week. And then at some point we will make this. I have some plans tonight actually, so I'll definitely convene in a little bit and we'll go from there. Lunch is served. These look so good. So I basically just baked my chicken as you saw. I put paprika on it. That's why it looks pretty seasoned, because it is, but that's the paprika. And then I just put a little bit of the salad kit on the side, and I used Greek yogurt, plain Greek yogurt, kind of like a sour cream. I tend to use that if I need anything instead of getting sour cream. I can have this paired with something that's sweet, but I could also have it paired with something that is salty if I just get it plain. So I'm gonna eat this and continue to work. Okay guys, it is much later. I got back home from a walk obviously, and I just continued to work. I am making a pretty early dinner because I am going to my monthly women's circle, and we're not going to the island, but we're going to this place called Tommy Thompson Park. I'll try and get a few clips, and we're just meeting there and like gonna be led by my somatic therapist through, I don't even know what, probably like guided meditation, stuff like that, but we're gonna be outside and I have to meet them at 6:45. So with that said, I'm gonna eat this before I go. I honestly just got too lazy. I didn't want to make the Greek salad. I'll just make it tomorrow because I'm gonna make the yogurt bark tomorrow as well. So I just had some of this salad kit, and I also got two, so I know I'm not gonna go through all of it just for those tacos, which the tacos were so good, and a steak because I eat steak all of the time and it takes no time at all to cook. So I'm gonna eat this and then go to Tommy Thompson Park. Hello everyone, it is the next day. It is a lot later, and I'm going to explain the day that I had because I think this is quite relevant to this video. As I'm doing that, I'm just gonna do some of my skincare. I haven't done these Dr. Dennis Gross exfoliation peels in a while, so I'm just gonna do that. So if you're wondering what I'm doing, it's that. So today's plan was to wake up early, go to the gym, get a bunch of stuff done, just very much so like stick to the plan energy. But when I woke up this morning, I was in such a different energy. The energy that I'm calling today is very much so do not disturb mode. And while I think a lot of society likes to just push yourself and discipline, and you're not always going to be motivated to do the things that you want in your life, although that is also true, I very much so honor myself when I am feeling this D&D mode, because I know that there's a lot of wisdom in that and there's something deeper going on. But it doesn't mean that I don't struggle with the two parts of me, the one that wants to go into this D&D mode and kind of like shut off from the world, and the one that's like, hello, we live in a 3D reality here, like we need to take action, we need to do all these things. And so that was kind of what I was battling this morning. Now honestly, the reason why I was kind of triggered into this do not disturb mode this morning is because when I went to my women's circle last night, usually that brings up a lot of different deep suppressed emotions that everyone has, and we were basically talking about our feelings. And last night we were really discussing this feeling of one part of us wanting to connect deeply to other people, and then that one part of us that wants to just retreat and, you know, I don't need anyone, I don't want to connect with anyone, it feels too much to connect to people. We were really diving deep in those parts, and I have a very, 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 very strong part of me that from a very young age, because of childhood trauma, but also just my blueprint of who I am as a person. I am very introverted, really like to come into myself, really also have just been very self-reliant for many years of my life. So I struggle a lot with letting people in. It's not that I can't connect to people. I'm very social. I know how to have conversations and relate to people, but there are just times where, like even last night, I really didn't even want to go to the women's circle. Every single time that I have it on my schedule, I'm kind of like, oh, I don't want to go into those deep emotions, this, that, and the third. And I think I'm gonna make a podcast episode. If you guys don't know, I have a podcast episode channel on YouTube, but you can also listen to it on Spotify. It's called the Glow Up Secrets Podcast. I think I'm gonna dive deeper into this dichotomy essentially, because I feel like a lot of people can relate to it. But with that said, last night there was a lot of not even like suppressed because I've known this about myself, but there was a lot of emotion and a lot of things that got brought up from my subconscious state of being into the forefront of my mind. So when I went to sleep last night, obviously that was kind of brewing and I was feeling all the things that I was feeling last night. And then this morning, it really kind of moved my energy to this wanting to come inward. But then I also had this part of me that's like, you gotta be motivated, you gotta go to the gym, you gotta whatever. And then on top of that, I had therapy booked this morning, which I was kind of also in resistance to because I'm like, I don't want to go and dive even deeper, but I also knew that it was like good for me to go, and I knew that I could also kind of go deeper into the things that I explored last night. And so from last night, therapy, waking up just emotionally exhausted, I just knew it was gonna be a day where I had to pivot, I had to adapt to my real emotional body. And the reason why I'm saying this is because when you are on a journey of leveling up your life or changing and evolving, not only are there gonna be growing pains in a way because you are breaking out of different habits, but there are just gonna be bumps on the way a little bit that sometimes we think is the problem, and we allow that to get into our own ways, but we don't need to. And what I mean by that is like, I could have, because I woke up like this and like whatever, let that completely ruin my day. And honestly, I was on the verge of being like, no, it's gonna ruin my day because I'm supposed to be motivated and I didn't go to the gym yet. Like, very perfectionist, my old coping mechanisms of trying to control things when really trying to control things is not giving me what I think it's giving me, which is freedom, which is what I never had when I was younger, which is a separate topic, which I think that's what I'm going to dive into on the podcast. But there are going to be times, especially when you are changing and leveling up your life, where you are going to wake up not feeling, and this is not about feeling motivated to like go to the gym. I mean, like, real shit in your physical body is something is not right. Like, something either doesn't feel good, you're feeling depressed that day, you're feeling sad or whatever. And these are the times that I have to remind myself and connect to who I am truly in my body, in my mind, in my soul, my everything, and remind myself that it is okay if everything is not perfect. You are still on this journey of becoming the person of your dreams. And quite frankly, these are the times, if you can adapt and you can really embrace these moments, these are the things that are really going to allow you to up-level your life. But I feel like when we're trying to up-level our lives and change and manifest, we have this picture or this idea of what it's supposed to look like and what it's supposed to feel, and all of these steps in which we take, like 3 steps to changing your life. But the truth is, this is part of the process. This messiness, this confusing feeling of what is even going on, or why am I not feeling motivated, or this is not supposed to happen like that. That is all a part of the process. And the reason why I'm saying that is because I know you guys struggle with this in many different aspects or different ways, like different examples, and I have as well. And I feel like that is the thing a lot of the times that gets in your way of actually becoming the person of your dreams. And it has for me as well. Like, I even think about the times when I had a really bad eating disorder, I had really bad body image, I had health issues, all of these things, and I was trying to work on them, and I was trying to, like, you know, be this healthy version of myself and really fix all these issues. But as soon as I had those days where I didn't feel like I could do it, I would internalize it and I would make it such an issue. Like, that was going to be the reason why I wasn't going to get what I wanted in my life. And then I would spiral into that, and then that would take me a few days to even recover. And so when you are having days where it just doesn't feel aligned, as much as you can, I highly suggest you just surrender. Surrender to how it is that you're feeling. Yes, I don't feel good today. Yes, I don't feel motivated. What is it that I can do? I'm going to try and do the bare minimum, and I'm not going to get mad at myself if I don't get everything done today, or if it's not, you know, exactly the way that I need it to be. And I'll give you an example, and this is more like surface level, but it really was a thing that was coming up for me. Was like, I had a certain schedule for today when it came to my work, like filming this and filming my workout, and also filming my podcast episode. Like, there's a lot of things that I needed to do for work today, but that was really throwing me off today because I was like, I am not in this energetic energy to be able to even do this. And me telling myself that it had to be this way today prolonged me from getting out of bed to go and do what I I could, until I was like, you know what? It's just not gonna be the day. You're not gonna film exactly how you want it today. And when I embraced that, the real truth of life, which is today's not gonna be perfect, I felt this release, and I naturally was motivated to go in the direction that was best for me, which was I ended up taking a little bit of a nap instead of just scrolling and being super annoyed at myself and like wasting time, because sometimes that's what I'll do. If I can't drop the fact that I'm not gonna have a perfect day, I'll do those behaviors, which also makes everything worse. But I didn't do that because I honored myself. I took a little bit of a nap, and then I decided, you know what? Just because I'm not in the energy of filming my workout today does not mean I'm going to skip the gym and I'm just gonna skip filming it. Like, it's not that hard. But for somebody who operates from that place of control and perfectionism, I'm sure you guys understand what I'm talking about. This like hyperfixation on things needing to be a certain way, and like to the point where you just are going to throw away your entire day because you can't do it the way that you had planned, which is just, it's not needed. It's not you honoring yourself when you do those type of things. And I know it can be really scary to trust your feeling state, because that's really what it is. Like, you're embracing emotions or a feeling state that probably doesn't even feel good to you. You're honoring yourself for once, which we always think honoring ourselves is showing up and doing our productive morning routines or going to the gym, but honoring yourself and showing up for yourself as well is also honoring these type of days. But once you start to do that, like, you do build trust within yourself that like you are going to be okay. And it's coming from somebody who's, you know, taken a few years for sure to really trust this intuition, this part of me, that emotional part of me. I know the benefits of following that, even though I might have resistance at first. And of course, I got up, I went to the gym, which then just, you know, created a lot of release. I ended up kind of getting emotional at the gym, which I was like, Jesus, like, clearly that needed to happen. And I did what I could, and now I'm here able to just show up and even give you guys this message. And I think the biggest lesson that I have learned for sure through the process of healing for many years in my life, but even in my 28th year, for sure, the biggest like, you know, like thing that's like written on every single wall that I look at is let go and trust, and keep trusting and keep letting go and keep trusting and keep letting go. And the more times that I do that, things just keep working out the way that it needs to. But I feel like we're waiting to have confidence to trust ourselves to go in the direction of, let's say, what I did even today. But at first you're gonna have to have belief in something that's even bigger than yourself. And I honestly think that, like, I think you sometimes just get to a point where you get so tired of doing the same cycle. Like, for me, the way I also changed in my life, yes, is through trusting myself and embracing imperfect days and things like that, but also just realizing the way that I'm trying to operate in life, very, you know, fixated and being a perfectionist and things have to be this way, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. Look at how your habits form based off of you being that perfectionist, of you just, you know, being a tyrant on yourself or judging yourself or not even allowing yourself to pivot on the days that is very clear that you need to just release. It just does not work. Sorry, my camera died. I feel like I need to get a new camera because I have a Sony ZV-1, I believe that's the right way to say it. And the battery just does not freaking last. And I got a new battery. So if anyone has any recommendations for long-standing batteries or long-standing cameras, please let me know. I also speak for a long time, so that probably doesn't help, but still, it's kind of annoying. Anyways, sometimes we forget that there are growing pains when it comes to becoming a new version of you, which in theory, I feel like if we think about it, it's like, yeah, obviously there's going to be hard days. They're not going to be perfect days, things like that. Like, I feel like we could all just say that if we were speaking from that place, if somebody asked us, oh, what's the process of becoming a new version of you? But I think we always forget until we're actually in it and we act as if like it's supposed to feel good all the time, and it's really not. And I think that that's really where we get caught up. And it's not that embracing these days that are not perfect are going to prevent you from never having a imperfect day again, but it's the fact that, for one, there's actually so much wisdom that comes out of those days if you really just allow it to be. But also, it does allow you to get out of that state a lot quicker because you are not resisting the fact that this is just the day. This is just gonna be the week. This is just gonna be the season of my life. And honestly, I'll give you guys like are real. I had that season basically the entire winter. The entire winter, it was like, when is this going to end? When is this phase going to end? When is this phase going to end? When is this phase going to end? Like, I think the year of 28 for me has literally been like, holy, like, I've gone through so many things in my life. If you guys know my story, then you know. And if you don't, I've gone through a lot of things in my life, and I've written that even in my book, The Ultimate Glow Up Guide, which will be down below if you want to know a little bit about my story. And sometimes I always think like maybe I should share it, not from this place of needing anyone to really know, but I think sometimes I also forget my own story. And so when I do have days that are not perfect, I get really hard on myself. And honestly, this is the reason why I'm bringing this up right now is because I was thinking about this in the gym. And this is not an excuse to have bad days or to fall off of goals or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But I feel like maybe this message will resonate to the people who have gone through hard things in their lives. Like, I was kind of like having this message from my higher self to myself that was just experiencing a hard day today. I was telling myself, like, Alicia, you have been through things that most people have not been through, even maybe like in your immediate circle. And this is not to put myself on this, oh my God, my life has been harder than yours is that. I am never that. I don't care to be that. It doesn't help anyone to be like that. I don't personally think. I think it's great to honor the fact that maybe you have been a victim in one situation in your life, or like you've had a hard life, but I just don't think that's ever really empowered me. But at the end of the day, like sometimes it is good to remind yourself, like, dude, you have gone through so many fucking hard things in your life, probably very different or very deep or deeper than maybe people around you or the people that you're comparing yourself to. And listen, we have all been through hard things, okay? We don't even need to measure that. But I was even thinking, like, I think some of you guys and even myself, I've done this before. I am holding myself up to a standard to people, let's say online, where you only see the best part of their lives, okay? So it's like you are trying to be this perfect version of you and show up and be motivated and have this dream and be successful, and you're comparing yourself to that other person that's very successful, but it's like you're not taking in consideration that you've had a lot of trauma in your life. You're healing your nervous system. You have days where it's really, really hard, and your mind, your body, your soul needs you to be there for you instead of trying to follow that other influencer online that's doing her healthy morning routine or this, that. And it's not also to say that that influencer is not going through something deep, but it's like you don't see what that person has gone through. So stop being so hard on yourself when you have those imperfect days. And quite frankly, I think the people who watch my videos and my podcast and like everyone who's watching this right now, I think that we are this sounds like, I'm not trying to be like elitist or we're better than everyone else, but I sometimes like, I don't know, I just feel like I'm really proud of us. I feel like we are the ones that keep showing up and keep working on ourselves, and we fucking put in the work. And for us, for a moment to even look at ourselves like we're not doing enough is really sad. It's really like not honoring the trials and tribulations that we have gone through, that we downplayed, that we humbled ourselves with, that we don't share to the world, that we, oh, well, it is what it is type of energy. Again, it's not about like, oh, my story is harder than yours or whatever, but it is sometimes to realize like, yeah, you've gone through some hard things. So there's gonna be some days where maybe you need to process the emotions that came up last night, at least for me. Emotions that came up for me last night of an energy of feeling so engulfed, so in jail. I felt like when I was a child, I was like in jail. I had no freedom from a father who did not give me that. Completely like took the power away. And that is a feeling that runs deep within my soul. And also growing up with he passed away, by the way, if you guys don't know, when I was 16 years old, and then my mother went into a full-blown addiction. And so that level of, no freedom in childhood, and then having to take this huge responsibility over my life, which we all have to take responsibility over our lives. So on one hand, that's a normal process, but having to do that and dealing with this whole of, what happens when you have a parent who is going through their own shit on top of still feeling very suppressed, like you don't have freedom, that is creating a lot of stress on somebody, a lot of nervous system dysregulation, a lot of shit that ends up coming out. And for me, it came out in a lot of ways, mainly chronic illness and habits that were, deemed like self-sabotaging habits, because I was really trying to control my life because I felt like my life was really out of control. And the only way for me to even feel remotely good about my life and how things were going was to become that perfectionist, the one that was really in survival mode. And on one hand, we love the perfectionist part of us because that's what actually kept me safe. Keeps you safe in a lot of ways. We do these things for a reason. But I started to realize after I did a lot of healing work, I would say like 25, moving into my year 28 now, I no longer need to be that perfectionist or that controlling part of me, because that's actually the thing that's keeping me stuck, and that's actually doing the opposite of what my inner child really wants, which is freedom. When you're trying to control every single thing in your life, let's say today, the example that I gave you today, that's not honoring that young part of me that actually wanted to be free, to be able to choose. And I feel like a lot of us, me included, we don't allow ourselves to have that opportunity to even tap into what it is that we need on a moment-to-moment basis, when we're telling ourselves every day needs to be the same, or every day I need to do this thing, and then you resist it when you feel like something's going on, like something is not right today. And instead of honoring yourself, you get mad at yourself. And so today was an example of me actually honoring myself and honoring that part of me that actually just needed a lot of freedom today, that needed to feel. And now I think a great way for us to cultivate more of the honoring that young self, or that part of us that maybe needs us to slow down, or whatever part of us that maybe we don't even know yet, is to have a practice of connecting to yourself before you connect to the world and connect to outside sources. And honestly, before you get that chance to drown out that voice within you that you don't know how to listen to, that you don't know how to handle. Because I feel like that's sometimes what we do. We wake up in the morning, we listen to self-development, we listen to podcasts, or we listen to things, which on one hand is great, but you kind of need to know when you're drowning that voice out within you, because we all have it within us. We have this deep intuition, this young self, this higher self, whatever you want to call it. I call it a million different things, that actually knows where we need to go today. And that's what I did this morning. As soon as I woke up, that is the first thing I did. I took my journal and I just started writing from this. Honestly, I was kind of in a subconscious state because I had just woken up, and that's a great state to be journaling from. And I just let whatever came out come out, and it was definitely words of wisdom from my higher self, which was basically knowing exactly what I need to do today before anyone else told me what to do today. And after I journaled, I still had that resistance, of course, because I am a human being that has many different parts operating, being like, no, but I should follow this, da 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 da. But we prevailed, and now we are here. And maybe the last words of wisdom that I will say, if anyone is resonating to anything that I'm saying in this video, is it really does get better though. It genuinely does. I think about the hardest days that I had when I was younger and I was in fight or flight, when it came to family, just stress, health conditions, all of those things. Those were really heightened situations that I used what I could to get out of them, which was not this honoring my emotions and being able to just, relax in my emotions and all of those things. The days that were really, really hard, they looked a lot different, and that's okay as well. You might be in a very heightened situation, or a dysregulated situation, or a situation where you're not really able to do it perfectly, and that's totally fine. I was still able to get out of the hardest places in my life without having any of this knowledge, without even tapping into my intuition the way that I can do now, without even having the resources that I have now. The best thing that you can honestly do for yourself when it comes to transforming in your life is doing the best you can. Okay, doing the absolute best you can. I think that that takes you a very long way. And I even think that you end up extending that to other people as well. And you have more love and compassion and grace for other people. And even thinking about, you know, all the things that I went through with my father and his own shit that he like put on me, and my experience as a child, and even with my mother, there's come so much healing from this piece of being able to really accept and acknowledge that we are flawed human beings, and sometimes we just need to do the best that we can. And I think that releases a lot of anger and resentment that we inevitably will hold and have either towards other people or situations, which don't really help us really transform in our lives, right? If you think about it, it's like if I want to up level anything in my life, there's gonna be a level of me shedding this anger, shedding this annoyance, this guilt, even this whatever it is that I'm having towards other people or even towards myself, so that I can continue to grow. You don't have to be perfect, but in my journey, I have really learned how to release that, and I've completely transformed my life. And I just think about it like this, which I know it's hard to get here when you have so much anger and resentment, but I feel like if I can get here with both my parents, maybe someone else can too. There's gonna need to be a level of me looking at them as if it's possible for them to change. Because if you show up in somebody's life and you constantly remind them of all the mistakes, all the shitty things that they have done, how they're never gonna amount to anything, do you really think that that is going to allow them to change? And take it from somebody who had every right to list out all the bad things and all the things that you didn't do and all da. It never helped that person's growth. And quite frankly, I ended up harboring a lot of resentment and hate and a lot of things that I didn't even need to by doing that. And I'm not saying that everyone deserves to have you love them or unconditionally love them. But what I will say is, and I'll give this example of even my mom, when I look at her through the lens of you have changed, you can continue to change, this is your journey, I am not going to hold you to your past, I know that that has made a huge impact on her and her life. And quite frankly, that has created a huge impact on my own self. It was very hard for me to change my life when I looked at myself every day being like, look at all the things that you haven't done. Look at how you keep failing. You're never gonna amount to anything. You can't do it. So I think we really need to tap more into that part of us that can extend grace, even if it's just for ourselves first. And then usually what happens is you extend it to other people. And that's something that has absolutely literally changed my life. And like I said, I wrote a book, if you guys are new, The Ultimate Glow Up Guide, and I really dive deeper into that self-love component and reparenting yourself and really understanding the root of your self-sabotaging behaviors. So if you are interested in it, and it also is the second half of the book, a journal guide, which you can actually write in. So it's available at your bookstores, like local bookstores, Barnes and Nobles, Indigo, things like that, but you can also find it on Amazon. So I'll have it linked down below if you are interested in it. Anyways, my camera is going to die. So I think that this is what the video is going to be today. I wanted it honestly to be like a more week in my life, showing you all the things that I was getting up to, but this is the reality of breaking through patterns and continuing to up level life. And actually I was listening to Drake when I was working out, and one of his lyrics was, I think it's from Churchill Downs with Jack Harlow. I love that song so much. I love Jack Harlow, oh my gosh. I will like go into a hyperfixation if I think about him for too long. But he was saying, whenever you're getting bigger, there is growing pains. And you don't have to be afraid of them. He didn't say that part, but like, you really don't have to be afraid of them. But just understand, like, really, when you are not having a good day, I want you to try and change your mindset about that and be like, you know what? This is showing me right now that I am getting bigger. I am growing. I am transforming. And then honor yourself, honor the season of life, honor the day, honor whatever it is, and allow that to be a part of the process. And like I mentioned, when it came to journaling, I would highly suggest you try it out, to connect with yourself in the mornings before you connect to anything else, like even for a few days, even if it's just for one day, and see the wisdom and the knowledge that comes from within. I feel like we're always trying to find the answer. We're always trying to find the thing, the advice, that, but we have so much wisdom and knowledge that comes from within. We just don't know how to trust it. We don't even know how to listen to it. We don't even take the time to listen to it. But when you continue to have a practice and you cultivate that, and then you act out of that, even when you're afraid, you will build that trust within yourself. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I don't even know what I'm going to title it. Please let me know what you enjoyed or what you want to see next. I don't know when the next video is or what I'm going to do. When I get in these modes, I very much so like to detach from planning anything, because I feel like I'm kind of like letting my energy calibrate to where it needs to, and tomorrow or maybe the next day, I don't know. I know that I'm gonna kind of be into the energy that I need to be, which will be a new energy that I've not been in because I have expanded in this way. So I can't even plan that, and I don't even know where I'm gonna go when it comes to content, but also just like my week. But anyways, that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.